Hi, welcome to Lead Empowered. I am overdue on a garden tour, but there are so many things growing and flourishing that I want to share and really empower you that you can have a backyard garden. We grew over 32 things last year, and that was our first year really committing to a garden. And this year I anticipate so much more growth, but it really adds up so quickly. So I just want to share with you what we have going and give you a little view. Okay, so this is the berry patch. This is our raspberry trellis, and you can see all these starts coming up. This is so fun. Raspberries do spread where I'm at. This is in Spokane, Washington, zone 6, and what I can do with these is either dig them up and sell them as starts or make another row, which I don't currently have a plan for. So I'm hesitating on doing anything with them, but I'm very excited about them and to see the growth. So these are our grapes we put in last year. These are seedless table grapes. I think I have one red and one green. So they are growing, and I'm very excited about that. We have some strawberries on the ground over here, which the bugs kind of got to before me last year, just being on the ground. I thought I wanted to use it as ground cover, but those might also move, which I'll show you in a little bit. The strawberry tower we'll get to. These are seedless blackberry, or sorry, not seedless. They are thornless blackberry bushes, and we'll be getting more blackberries later. This Thursday I have an order coming. There's a place in Spokane Valley called Pretty Edibles, and they have all kinds of more exotic plants, but they are they actually grow in our zone. And so I'm getting cranberries, goji berries, honeyberries, elderberries. So all of those things are coming in a couple of days, and I'm super excited about it. Honeyberries will go on this fourth trellis. These are, I'm not sure, I think these might be garlic. This is where my garlic was last year, and I moved it. But there's also some flowers you can see popping up here. And then this is rhubarb. I transplanted over here because it takes similar soil. It likes the same kind of soil as raspberries. And I think originally I thought this was going to be another raspberry trellis until I expanded with more kinds. So we also put in this raised bed middle to end of the season last year, and didn't do a ton with it. We have the garlic growing on this side. I've tried to place garlic around the whole space because garlic is a good companion to so many plants because it helps keep away the bugs. So this is onions, and this is purple top turnips. I am still experimenting with so much, so there definitely could be corrections, but it's all an experiment, and I was amazed at what grew when just from an experiment. And so I think that's the way I kind of feel comfortable doing it, of feeling like there's not so much pressure of failing if it's an experiment, and then I'm pleasantly surprised with what does grow, and that's so exciting. So this is in our greenhouse. We have a 10 by 12. This is a Harbor Freight. I got a really good deal on it. It did collapse in the snow this year, and one of our big projects for this summer is going to be upgrading it actually to a window greenhouse, and I'm very excited about that. But also it's functioning, it's getting warm and staying very warm, so we are just using it. I believe that there's blessing in doing the best with what you have before you get more. So we're just maximizing where we're at in what we have available to us, and then it also gives us time to collect the supplies and lower the cost of upgrading. So here's some stuff around here. This is just lettuce greens, which potentially will get transplanted into our lettuce patch. they're kind of slow going in here, so we'll see if they move. This was my daughter's seed and experiment bin. She put some flower seeds in here and pumpkin seeds, and she loved it. This was my attempt to transplant some overseeded onions, but it looks like that there's just some regular grass seed in here, which is doing the best, so that's funny. These are some peppers and tomatoes that were in the house. My peppers were not getting warm enough in the house, and so these were all teeny babies when I brought them out here, and they were competing for light in the house, and so I decided to bring a couple out here and just see how they would do, and they're doing great. This is a mix mash of another, I planted these tomatoes significantly later than the ones in the house and was not sure how they would do. But they're coming up, and I think that they will probably still be big enough to produce something this season. We have a couple herbs in here. And then these are some strawberry transplants, which need to find their new forever home, but it was just an intermediate. There's some more of those strawberries right here. I have a strawberry tower again, I will show you. These are all seed starts. Everything got a little bit too hot in here today. I did not open the vents, and it kind of, you can see some of these plants, like that one's probably gone for good. But a lot of these are actually looking better than they were 2 hours ago. So I'm super excited. These are my daughter's. She got these little cups for her birthday from someone. Some kale. I did not do really any flowers or herbs last year. Well, that's a lie. I did some herbs that were given to me and already established, and I happened to kill a handful of them. So anyways, like these are all flowers, which I'm so excited because that's new to me. These are some cuttings. Like this again is just an experiment from a friend's trees, and like this one looks like it's the only one out of all these that still has green. So hey, like it was a free experiment, and if one survives, we'll get an apricot tree out of it, and how cool would that be? And if it doesn't, then I learned a lot, and we'll see if if I do it again. So again, some more flowers I'm super excited about, and actually next week is our last frost date, so a lot of this stuff will get to transplant outside, especially the sunflowers that are getting probably close to the max, some of them in those little plug trays. But some more herbs, and this is my first time. I've never even eaten okra, but the plants are sprouting and looking happy, so we'll keep them going. This is Brussels sprouts, and I've never grown that before, so one of probably 3 seeds that were started in here sprouted, and we'll see what happens. Chives, so super fun. Back here we have our chicken coop. This is actually big enough for 20 chickens. We are not supposed to have that many in the city, so and we would not like to overcrowd it either. We do let them free range, especially more in the fall, once we've torn out the garden, and in times of transition, or we have these other spaces. That's Pete. We had his mama, and so we've had him since he was born, and he's my daughter's favorite. Anyway, so we have these smaller sections where sometimes we can let them into a section of the garden, which is great. We have these trellises. This is probably a 12 or 14 foot trellis right here, and we grew over 27 pumpkins in that space last year. So it's pretty cool, and I just encourage like so much. Like again, we did not start doing because we thought when we have property we'll do this, when we have property we'll do a garden or chickens or whatever, a greenhouse, all these things. And it really just came down to starting And so that's my encouragement to you, is just take the next best step next. Is there's so many things that you can do where you're at. So this year we'll do more pumpkins, spaghetti squash, butternut squash, and maybe something else. We'll see. And then this is going to be my designated tomato space, which will be companion planted with some bush beans and basil and some other just companion. I'm so excited about this space because I was so thrilled with our tomatoes last year. I did not think that I liked tomatoes plain. I would only use them as a topping before we grew them ourselves. And so I'm just so excited about that. Also, if you'll notice that this is a bed frame actually, and I love everything that I do. I love to recycle. I love to repurpose things, and I think there's just some special beauty in giving something a new junk to someone else is something beautiful, and to save things from going to the landfill or the incinerator, and there's just so my brain just works in that creative way. This I think is going to be where the cranberry, it's going to be like a bush, goes. This coop is sometimes if we have an injured bird or something, she'll go over here. We try to put a broody hen in here and have her hatch some eggs. They did not hatch. We do not have a rooster in the city, so we were just getting eggs from other friends, and so we'll probably try one more time. We're also trying to hatch chicks in the incubator, so that's just this, and it's fun. I just think it's pretty. So we have multiple kinds of compost around. I am not a confident composter, but it is something I want to grow and learn to do more. How I told you before, I love recycling. This is an old bed frame, and then the garden gate over there, I just love it. We had a trellis last year that our tomato plants grew, and this year I wanted it to be the walkway into, last year it was the walkway into the pumpkins, and then this year it will be one of the two entrances into the main vegetable garden. So we will have more bush beans, zucchinis, and peppers, things like that in this space. These are a couple of apple trees, which this is their first year in the ground. Last year I had them in garbage cans, and they did fine. We thought we were gonna maybe save them that way to move them with us, but we just really decided that we're putting roots here, so here we are. And this is a cherry tree, and then actually this cherry tree died, but we will be replacing that one actually tomorrow. There's a neighbor in near us that is selling their excess trees for like 10 or 20 bucks. So it's a good way to just find people who, one of my things is finding another business's waste. So it's actually coming from someone who has established like cherry farm. And so these sprouts come up just how I showed you with the raspberries, and it's just excess to them. They already have their established fruiting plants, and they don't need more. And so it's pretty cool to access that. So anyways, like this is another piece I just got from a friend, which I'm so excited. I love these old pieces just to incorporate. And this is going to be, this is a plum tree over here. You can see it flowering. I don't know if you can see that. And this is going to be the broccoli and, hi Pete, maybe celery or some other companion stuff back here. And it's, the other thing I thought about though is that putting the elderberries back here, because it would give them an enclosed space. Elderberries will get very big if you let them, but just to have them blocked off, because the berries are poisonous if you don't process them first. But I also don't want the chickens to have access to them before they're processed either. So we'll see. This was originally my strawberry patch, which it will still be. The best strawberries we had last year were right next to the beehives, and with the with the blueberry bushes. So I wanted to keep that going. We also, anything vertical we can do. So I saw this idea for milk crates, and then it actually has a PVC pipe in the top and holes drilled all the way through so that the water can reach every container on the way down. And then over here we have our blueberries. This is their second year with us, so we're hoping that they'll get berries this year, and then strawberries in the base of that. And I just composted, and we'll probably give them some coffee grounds here soon. And then this hive is an overwintered hive, and so it's very established. I'm getting ready to split that, so this hive will become 2 hives. And then this hive is new to us this year, and so we're hoping that they thrive. And then a couple more blueberries over here. This is where the split will go. And then this section back here is the herb patch, which I am not confident about, but I put some herb seeds in there. The person that was before us actually did a lot of gardening. They did a lot more flowers. So some of the stuff, like, I'm not even sure what this is, and I just haven't done the research to find out. So we have some beautiful rose bushes here that will come up. Just some random bulbs and flowers that don't get a ton of height right here. So like these irises need to be moved, but it's probably too late to do that this year. So we just keep an eye on it. This is a lilac, and then you can see I did transplant some garlic, or last year I put the garlic here with the strawberries. This will probably end up being a strawberry patch again. I would like to do some height on this wall somehow, and maybe incorporate the milk crate layers, or have a tiered section or something coming out from there. This is what I love to call my cottage garden. I recently did these doors, and I love them so much. These actually came from the recycling center we live very close to. And the guys always look out for cool pieces that might go well in my garden. So you can see that some of these, this is sage, are coming back. I did just transplant these, so they're still trying to recover from a little bit of shock. But all of these, our city is doing a free half yard of compost if you pay for a compost bin. So rallying the neighbors around using their compost if they're not going to, because we do hope to share this garden with our neighbors and the produce from it. So just building community around the garden is a really big passion of mine. So anyways, you can see some of these herbs that are coming back. The green onions are ready to get cut already. They're doing great. I put some flowers up here last year to kind of encourage some more pollinators out here, because last year we did not utilize these trellises last year. So we're going to do a lot more pickling cucumbers and vining. Like, we're going to put some peas out here and stuff to utilize this back trellis, and then planting something in the front half in addition to it. So I know we can plant something behind those onions and stuff like that. So utilizing every space. And then I've made another one of these little walk-through trellises. The cardboard is on the ground here to actually smother the grass, and then we're going to put wood chips over it. We just decided that it'll be better to not need to water this area. The grass is going to die anyways. And then putting the wood chips will actually help keep the moisture in and help these raised beds do better. Again, just spread out these strawberries, and so that was an interesting, first time, they looked. You can see this one I didn't, so that's just existing. I actually changed those in the fall, and they're looking much better than the ones that I just recently transplanted. It will be raining here the next couple of days, so I'm hoping that'll help everything look a little healthier. Yeah, some existing strawberries that are coming back, herbs that are coming back. I think that's a mint. My daughter and I did just plant some peas in here today. I'm very excited about. This is our lettuce patch, very conveniently watered with our neighbor's watering system. So this is on the east side of our house, and so it allows for the morning sun, but then protects it from the evening, the afternoon heat. So this was actually pallets last year, so I had 3 pallets, and I just found that the wood attracted bugs that I didn't want, which I know there's still going to be bugs, but that's also why I've put these herb containers in here, so we'll grow a few herbs to have the natural pest repellent, and then hopefully not having the wood will also lower that. And then this trellis we are planning to use for peas. We did plant peas in there today. We'll see what happens. And then again, we're going to do those wood chips all through the walkway. I was enlightened that wood chips will keep in so much moisture and you will not have to water as much. Also, it helps pull up those earthworms, and just having the worms under there is super helpful too. This whole section is just dedicated to flowers. This was the first, this is where the garden began, because we were trying to sell our house, and something needed to happen right here. And so I originally started with these boxes and painted them, and put some, I think I probably spent more money on the flowers in these boxes than I have on the whole rest of my garden, because we were trying to sell our house and it needed to look pretty. But now we have moved a lot of bulbs and stuff. These moved in here last fall, and yeah, so these are my favorite. Honestly, I don't even know what they are, but I love these like overhanging, and they get these beautiful purple flowers. And then again, like, it's an experiment. That one is a lilac, and so is this one. We got them at the same time. I don't know what happened differently. That one didn't make it. The other one did. But that's a little tour of what we have going on here. We live on 0.12 of an acre. So if you are thinking that you don't have the space, you can do this, and there's so many ways to use what you have efficiently, and with companion planting and other ways of growing vertically, and so many ideas of ways to use space well. And I feel like every day there's like, I could be doing this better, I could be doing this more efficiently, and I'm always thinking of ideas to be more effective with what we have. And so finding community around that and getting other people's ideas, and creating it to be your own and enjoy the space that you have. I think that's something that is so important, is that every day, like, I look out my window and this is where I want to be. And I just think about that when I go out and I engage with people, or I do something. I love that feeling that I can't wait to go home, that the farm it's my home. Like, I want to go back to the farm even though I'm in the middle of the city, that it just feels so restful, and it's a place I want to be. So I encourage you to be empowered to take the next best step, and you can have a garden. You can grow your own food.